Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, and welcome to today's Prime Minister's Question Times / COVID-19 daily briefing. Unfortunately, the Prime Minister can't be with us today as he's on a secret countrywide mission with the SAS, Save Our Statues.
Rubbish.
And while he's up in Durham, he will obviously be updating Lord Cummings.
Order.
That leaves me, Mr. Speaker, to take questions from the Right Honourable Lady across the House. But firstly, let me reassure the great British public that we, the Conservative government, are doing all we can to beat COVID-19. First slide, please. Slide.
Get on with it.
I beg your pardon. You, young lady, you need to watch your tone. No troubles. I shall find a slide. Bloody scientists. Right, there we go. So, as you can see from our easy to read, oven ready slides and graphs, we, the Conservative government, are getting it done. Just as we got breakfast for school, Brexit done. Yes. And we will continue to get it done with the help of you, the great British public. So remember, wash your hands, stay alert,
Absolutely.
and never ever refuse a U-turn. Right, next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, there's the next slide, I think. Yes, that's the one, thank you. Yes, thank you, yeah. Oh, no, next slide, please. Oh, you bloody scientist. You'll never work again. There we go. That's the one, yes, I think that's the one. No. Right, okay, there we go. That's the slide we're looking for. Right. So, Mr. Speaker, I am now taking questions on the Right Honourable Lady across the House.
Order. The House will listen to the responses. Order.
What a relief. At last I can reply to that incompetent, grinning buffoon and his incoherent ramblings. Susan Plain-Speak, the Right Honourable Member for Greater Common Sense, and the Shadow Minister for Joined Up Thinking. Mr. Speaker, I was appalled to discover that the Prime Minister has knighted Mr. Cummings after his deplorable conduct in Durham over Easter.
Order.
It beggars belief. And, Mr. Speaker, that first slide shown by the Right Honourable Member bore absolutely no relevance to COVID-19 statistics. On the contrary, I believe it referred to high-speed train passenger traffic volume and migrant workers. Not much in the way of joined-up thinking there. The Right Honourable Member doesn't appear to know what he's talking about. As for the second slide, well, that simply confirms what we've known all along, that this Conservative government has been asleep at the wheel for the entirety of the sorry mess created by their mishandling of the pandemic. And as for the third slide, well, that shows Mr. Rees-Mogg making a complete and utter idiot of himself. No surprises there. He caused the Conservative government such embarrassment with his unfortunate comments about the Grenfell tragedy that he had to be furloughed for 2 months. Mr. Speaker, surely you don't need me to point out that this government has made a complete and utter shambles of trying to control the spread of COVID. Which leaves us with some burning questions. But will they be answered? Question 1. Where was the PPE when it was needed? And will there be adequate PPE for future outbreaks, which seem highly likely? Question 2. Why was testing abandoned on the 12th of March, only to be reinstated at a ridiculously late stage?
Yes, why?
Why was £12,000 thrown away on developing an app that proved to be useless? Incidentally, Mr. Speaker, £12,000 is the amount of money that's already been lost by the Albert Hall since it had to close. Question 3. Why was the lockdown imposed so late? And why the rush to ease it now? If we don't tread extremely carefully, we'll end up having to impose fresh lockdowns, as indeed is already happening in Leicester. Question 4. Why on earth was that ludicrous 14-day quarantine imposed on the 8th of June? The only purpose that served is to make us the laughingstock of Europe again, and to further cripple the aviation and tourism industries. No wonder it's going to be scrapped on the 10th of July. This government claims to be world-beating, but the only way in which we've distinguished ourselves is to, sadly, have one of the highest mortality rates from COVID-19 in the world. We're up there with the United States and Brazil, for heaven's sake. Mr. Speaker, this government couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery, which brings me to my final question. Why did you choose a Saturday to reopen the pubs? This was a potential recipe for disaster. Well, I shall wait and see what transpires, and I will await the outcomes with trepidation.